Well, good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. And man, I am so blessed to have you guys all here today. I see my wonderful chat over here with all my amazing moderators and everybody who is participating in the chat. What's up? Awesome peeps. Thanks, Brandon. You guys, it has been quite the day today. It's been quite the day today. I wasn't sure. We actually things have been a little wonky, let's just say, today, and I think it may have something to do with this target tonight. It just might. And I do have Arkheim Ra here in the studio with us tonight. Arkheim gave me another amazing target, and this one hits home for Arkheim, and he and I have both been feeling the effects of whatever this target is today and whatever's behind it. Okay, so we actually were even kind of on the fence about doing a show about this tonight, and then we decided at the last minute, let's go for it. It's better to put the information out there than not do it. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the consciousness transfer conduit. I'm going to let Arkheim explain this. Okay, I'm going to let Arkheim explain it. As soon as he comes up on the screen today, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I have a lot of data. Okay, and but I do know whatever this is, it's important, or else I wouldn't have been feeling the effects of that today, and neither would Arkheim. So we're going to take it very easy tonight, real gentle. Okay, and get this data out there, get the information out there, because it might just help, might just connect some dots. And it might be a missing link, y'all. Okay. Especially with some of the secret space program stuff that's going on and more. Okay. So if you guys would like to follow along with all of my shows and everything, please go over to my website. That is the cryptidhuntress.com. You guys can find all my social media links over there and all the links to whatever, all the information about me and all the events. I put a bunch of new events on my calendar last night or this morning. And so that is updated. Also, we do have the data for this tonight in my Patreon. So thank you to all of my Patreon members. I really appreciate you guys so much. And you go to patreon.com/the Cryptid Huntress to see the data for tonight's show. And also, if you'd like to support my work, it's just the Cryptid Huntress. Go over to my Etsy shop. It's called War Woman Goods as well there. And shout out to all my channel members. You guys rock. Okay. Well, let's get to our show tonight, because we have a lot to talk about and a lot of data to go over. Okay. And I do have my good friend Arkheim Ra here in the studio. Okay. There is an empty apartment building close to where Arkheim lives. According to him, there's a conduit inside this empty building that serves to upload a person's consciousness to a computer. The older people who own the building had a son who had developmental disabilities, and I think that he used to live there and had his consciousness uploaded to this computer. Arkheim's going to tell us all about that tonight, but this conduit is allegedly used by multiple people, all of whom are practicing witches. Okay. Arkheim Ra is a starseed who was targeted for super soldier espionage mind control programs in the U.S. Public Schools Talented and Gifted program. He served at Montauk under Project Phoenix and has had several alters which engaged with time travel. And he's served in swap alternate reality programs. His alters have worked with Notwaffen, Mars Defense Force, Solar Warden, Lunar Command, and more. His book, Time and Space Unlimited, The Implications of Portal Technologies Explained, is available on Amazon. And of course, he tasked me with a coordinate remote viewing target. Turned out to be the apartment building, the empty apartment building that he will be talking about tonight. So this is going to be a very interesting show tonight. Very interesting information. Please help me welcome to the show my good buddy, Arkheim Ra.
Hello, Jessica. Thank you for having me on the show. To the audience, like what you said is true. We were kind of debating not even doing the show, but I think that it is safer to talk about it than to not talk about it. And yeah, so that's why we're going to talk about it, and we're going to really go into it with the hardcore. It's for entertainment purposes only. Please don't take this too seriously, people. Yeah, I'm being serious, but at the same time, that's not how we're presenting this information. We're presenting it very hypothetically because we don't know. We're asking a lot of questions right now, but at the same time, you can decide for yourself how weird this all is, because it is weird, and we'll just leave it at that. But this is for entertainment purposes, so we're gonna really lead into that with that. And without further ado, I'll just go right into it. So I moved into an apartment building. Not gonna say where. We're gonna really leave that all out of the equation right now, because none of that really matters. And I want to keep myself safe, and I also don't want people going after these old people, regardless of the fact of whether they're old witches or warlocks or whatever. The law is still the law. Defamation is still defamation. All those things. So we're gonna be really careful about all that today. And I hope people understand that I can't just tell you my exact address and give exact details. I'm pretty sure people will be understanding of that. So we're going to change a few tiny little things, but be very honest while we're doing it. So basically, I moved somewhere, and obviously I moved across the country to get out of Appleton, where a lot of really weird things were happening to me. And I moved where I live now, and there is an empty apartment complex right next to our apartment complex, and it took me a very long time to even realize it. So it's 3 buildings, they're totally empty, they're not used for anything. For the longest time I thought I just didn't see the people leave or come or go, and then I realized, wait, they're actually empty. It took me a while to realize that. And what it was is there's this parking lot which we share, and there's these old people. They're very, very rude. Everybody in this area kind of knows who they are because of how rude they are. And they're screaming at me about where I park. And I was just like, look, there's no signs or anything. If you really, there's laws that I can't park here or whatever. I'll follow the rules. I looked up the rules. There's got to be a sign, and there's no sign. And I just park where I park. So, but there's this whole empty apartment building, and the argument is that I guess it belongs to the empty apartment building, so they just want no one to use it. So that's important to mention, because I've actually interacted with these old people a lot. And for the longest time, I just thought there are these really weird hoarder old people that live next door to me, without realizing, yes, I thought about it. If you're in the middle of where I live, an apartment complex is worth quite a hefty chunk of change. I'm talking around maybe even $1 million. It's a crazy amount of money. I don't know. I'm not a real estate guy, but I know it's enough money to where if you had 3 apartment buildings in the middle of where I'm at, you wouldn't just leave them empty. It's just very odd. And I actually watched the movie Weapons recently.
Oh yeah.
So that's how I'm gonna.
That movie is very interesting. I never even heard of it until you mentioned it yesterday, I think, and I looked it up. It's got to do with witchcraft, child kidnapping, missing children, and using black magic to steal people's life force.
Yeah, it's like disclosure. It shows how these witches and warlocks kind of actually work, really. Anyway, I watched it, and look, man, this whole area that I live in knows about this building, and it's known as a spot that certain people, because there's a lot of apartments or people, you can't smoke in your house anyway, even if you live in a house. So there's people that will smoke cigarettes back there. In fact, I thought it was sketchy, and I went back there a couple times, and it's just so and so, and they're like, "I'll just smoke back here." That's where the ashtrays are. We're like, "Oh, okay." So people know about this building and how it's empty. It's not. I'm not the only person. People just kind of use it as a spot to smoke cigarettes or whatever. And so it's not. But dude, the lights started turning at night. That's what. Yes. And I talked about it with one of my neighbors. We're like, "What the fuck is going?" We're both like, "This is weird. Why is the light turning on at night? That is strange." And so this is before I saw, like I said, Weapons. This is before I saw it when we both had that conversation. And apparently he did some sneaking around. He kind of saw in there, and it looked like just construction equipment or something like that, and kind of innocuous, and it kind of actually made me, okay, nothing's going on with it. Like, I haven't seen it myself, but he told me he kind of peeked in there and saw, and it just looked like kind of empty and like almost like a construction company used it to keep their stuff there or something. Like, you know, like I think he said he saw like a blade or like a, and so it made me kind of like, oh, he's owns a construction company and leaves his stuff there. I don't know, it kind of caught my nerves. But then I watched that movie, like I said, and dude, this lady in the movie, okay, there's this house, and the whole neighborhood kind of realizes it's weird what they, like we do in this world, shrug it off. Well, the thing is all like the apartment building, all the windows are covered, so it's hard to see in. There's only the right one that he was able to see in, because like I said, there's 3, so the one that he could see in, it was only the right one, and like I said, he couldn't really see that well, but he said he saw a few things, and he, you know, like I said, it kind of eased my nerves. But then I thought about it. Well, that would make sense. That's almost like a bait. Like, leave one of them where you can kind of look in there, right? And it looks innocuous, but then the one in the middle is completely covered. You cannot see in there. There's no way you could see in there. I talked to him about it. So, and I just thought, and at first I was just like, oh, that's kind of interesting and whatever, and I kind of moved on with my life. But like I said, after I watched this movie, I thought about how weird that is. And then these old people, they reminded me of like the warlock witch lady in the movie, because they're just nasty. Everybody knows. Like, dude, I got in a, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I should say this, but I got in a little bit of a shouting match with them one time, because they were like about to, dude looked like he was gonna like attack my neighbor. Because he was arguing about where the property line was and stuff, and I yelled out there like, "Dude, not cool! Don't attack!" You know, I wasn't. All I was doing was sticking up for my neighbor, and so the property manager called me because he heard there was some sort of skirmish, and he was pissed. He's like, "Why are you yelling at people at your window?" And he almost did not want to hear it, but as soon as I said "old people next door," he's like, "Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, they're assholes. Bye." Like, he knew about them, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, they're fucking terrible. Yeah, okay, never mind. I didn't know it was them," and just literally like basically hung up on me.
Oh, Archei, let's explain to the audience real quick about this. Okay, so the aunt in the movie, her name's Aunt Gladys, and I'm not giving the movie away. This is a spoiler alert. Okay, if anybody hasn't, I haven't seen the movie, but I did some research on this today. She actually reminds me of that woman from Mommy Dearest. Okay, this old movie with her makeup, and she's dying of a terminal illness or something, and so she goes to live with her niece and her husband or nephew and wife, and they have a kid. Let's just say that it turns into like her basically taking the life force of children. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
To try to get her power, her life essence back, kind of like what we talk about with the Google Chrome, if you know what I mean, right? And that's what she was basically doing to some of these children, I think. But it's putting it out there. I mean, this is one of the top movies out there right now.
Yeah, and this is the whole premise of the movie. If you were to Google it, so I guess spoiler alerts if you like going in completely blind, but also it's not really spoilers. Basically, there's 17 kids missing, and they're trying to figure out where they went. And you can guess where they ended up, right? And
in a basement somewhere.
So yeah. Sorry, people, but it honestly just makes the movie that much more interesting to talk about it in real life context like this. I hope it doesn't spoil too much for people, but so I thought about that, and I was like, wait a minute, like, so this is going to be an interesting show because I remote viewed the apartment building, and I got my own data before I got your data, which I altered out and I did it, and so I got my own data, and I'll tell you what I saw. So I got Conduit, and which I didn't understand, and I figured at first there's a portal, they open portals in there. But when I remote viewed it, one of the first things I saw was someone putting the phone up to their ear and then turning into light and getting sucked into the phone. And this is why
Yeah.
I think this is dangerous to talk about. I have not heard anyone, other than you talk about The Matrix, that's a movie,
Yeah,
though.
The Matrix. Yeah.
I've not heard anybody talk about this ever happening. And this is where it gets weird. Well, the whole thing's weird. So, so I saw that, and then I saw a phone, like kind of more of a modern phone, but still old phone where you can dial it, and it's got the cord wire, and you put it on there, and you hang it up.
From
You know,
the
like if
1980s
you,
and 90s.
yeah, like if you got mad at someone, you could actually slam the phone down. That phone.
Yeah, that.
Some people will never know that pleasure, right? Like.
Yes, I know the pleasure. I did it.
Yeah, and so.
The rotary dials and the.
Yep. Pushing. So I saw that and a modem though, like a little modem, in that empty apartment. That's what I saw. And what's weird, okay, is when I lived in Appleton, I talk about, and you've remote viewed the school that I cleaned, and we confirmed there's weird stuff going on with it. Well, I actually took a picture one time because I walked into this room, and it was when I was working at because there's the school across the street, and then there's the church across the street, the school above it. This is when I was working at the church part. And I walked into this room, and it was, like I said, a phone and a modem in the middle of the floor, and nothing. A big room, and that's all it was. And I remember thinking how weird that was, okay? It gets crazier because when I went across, I was telling the teachers about how weird haunted stuff was happening. I didn't go into them about how I'm a super soldier and SSP and weird them out. I'm smarter than that. But I just let them know weird stuff was happening. I think something's going on at the school. And of course their mind went towards ghosts. So one of the ladies actually left a recorder in the room, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, all of a sudden you hear people walking around, and then you hear shh, and then it stops. So like,
okay,
this is like there's just something weird going on with this and this phone thing, and it gets even crazier, Jessica. Guess what's in my apartment when I moved in? There is an old rotary phone, like from the 30s, stuck in the wall, like the kind where you go, "Hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my ragtime gal." Because that song was literally about those old phones and how people were saying hello and it was a new word. That's literally how old this phone is, and it's in my wall. I think it's a teleportation device, Jessica. I think that I alter up and wake up and go, "Time for work," and get sucked into the thing. And I think that across the street, they have another conduit that people are using. And when I remote viewed this is what I saw. And it's the craziest. This is like for entertainment purposes only, because I have no clue if this is true. If I were to sit down and talk to these old people and find out about their son. But I even heard from the landlord here. He said, "Yeah, I asked him about buying that. You leave it empty. It's weird." He said, "Why can't you just sell it to me?" And they're like, "Oh, it's for our son." And when I remote viewed this, I saw he has like cerebral palsy or something like that, something similar, where he's in a wheelchair and he can't talk and stuff. And some company approached them in the 80s and was like telling them about the internet and uploading consciousness and how he could live a whole life, a normal life somewhere, and then they could also go visit him in that normal life. And what I think it is it's literally an alternate reality where they sucked it. I don't even know, dude. That's why you remote viewed it, and we'll get into it, and we'll guess with the audience. That's why we say entertain. We don't know. We're asking more. We have questions more than we have answers right now, and we get to decide together. And that's why it's kind of for entertainment. Like, guess something weird's going on, but we only think that. We don't know, and that's why it's for entertainment purposes only. And we're saying that for YouTube's sake, but also just, people use your brains, use discernment. Like, it's for everyone's sake.
Yes. Well, Arkheim, I got to say, like the whole phone thing is like shown in movies, and we talk about movies being soft disclosure, right? About real life, and they show it in The Matrix. Also, Barry talks about the TARDIS, right? I think it's called the TARDIS. Yeah. Is that like a phone booth?
Yeah, and it's a time travel thing.
Time travel device
from Doctor Who. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and also in The Matrix too, whenever it's time for them to teleport or transport, whatever they're doing, they go find a phone. I think that's the only way to really escape the Matrix is to pick up that phone, right?
Yes.
You got to pick up the phone. It's a rotary dial phone with the cord on it.
Well, I think in The Matrix they can use a cell phone. I can't remember if they can use a cell phone or not. But this technology that I'm talking about now, and don't ask me how I know it, but you can't use a cell phone. Actually, Kat asked me about it. She was like, wouldn't they just be able to use cell phones for that? Why would they have to have the rotary phone and all that stuff? I'm like, I don't think a cell phone works for this.
I don't know. Probably
Like,
not. I think that it's supposed to be, and that's like the subject of some memes that I've seen. It's like, who would have thought the only way to escape the Matrix is through a rotary dial phone? You know, something that you don't even use anymore. You can find them in thrift stores, though. I saw one not too long ago.
So yeah, so they exist and people can still use them, and I don't know if this is like some sort of weird witchcraft where if you're in the know you can hack it and just do it. But I was getting, and this is crazy because you got this in your data.
Okay.
Like Aleister Crowley stuff, and like that there were it's a witch and warlock couple. And so that's how they even got in contact with this person who had this technology for their son to begin with. And it's just really weird because I can only imagine if I were actually to research these people and look into them, I like hire a private investigator, I could actually probably verify this shit. That's why it's really scary and kind of scary to talk about on the internet, but for entertainment purpose only. But no, it's weird, and yeah, I've noticed people coming and going because dude, I sit where I am right now. I look out my window and I look at it, and I've seen people come and go. And I've seen them come and go, and the first time I ever talked about it in chats with people about how I think something weird's going on with the house, they didn't show up forever. They hardly ever show up the next day. The first time I talked about it, the next day they showed up and they're here for the longest they've ever been. They usually leave right away. They're here for like 3 or 4 hours, which was super weird to me. And yeah, what I saw was basically, there's a conduit in there, and it's kind of like a black market thing where they rent it out to people. They're the ones who own it, but it's so expensive that they let other people use it, and they let people rent it out. And that's why I've seen people come and go and seen some weird things here and there, is because that conduit is rented out by people and used by other people. It's not just used by them.
Okay.
So it's kind of like akin to like living next to kind of like a black market kind of operation, except something that is so black market that people don't even know it exists yet, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Arkheim, okay, so let's talk about this a little bit, because you have been part of the secret space programs, the Montauk Project, Project Phoenix. You have done time cop stuff. You have done a lot of different programs. You've been a part of a lot of different programs.
And I'm still getting taken. I was like, I did like a mission where I went to an alternate reality 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really remember it very clearly yet, but I'm still active in these programs, and I'll make that clear to people.
Okay. Well, you and I have had a discussion before when we were up in Montauk together. You were talking about portals as mirrors as portals, and even in like hotels and stuff, there are mirrors. There's some kind of technology that people would carry around, like a satchel that had these brick-looking magnets in it, and they would set them up along the wall, and it would turn that wall into a portal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes.
Can we talk about that? Tell me about what kind of technology that is. What is that?
So there was a time, and this was in an alternate reality we're not in it, but there was an alternate reality where like Hillary Clinton was president and Los Alamos was doing some wild stuff.
Okay.
And me and Joseph Powell, his Montauk altar, Jimmy, went to we were trying to get into Los Alamos to figure out what they were doing, which is basically from what we found out through our moles and stuff, was they're building portal tech. So, and when we tried to portal in there, they had some sort of Faraday cage set up where you couldn't just portal in there. So our solution to that was we put ourselves into whole lives, grew up to become scientists, and grew up to work at Los Alamos. And that's how we got let in there, is by actually earning our fucking security clearances. Yes, we actually did that.
Wow.
And but what happened is, because since when we did it, it was what I call a Monarch mission. People always say, "Oh, the Monarch, that's the sex programming, isn't it?" No. Monarch means you're programmed to do something and you're unaware of it. If it's not Monarch programming, you program with it and you know about it, and you go in there and, I gotta do this thing at this time. But Monarch programming is where you don't know, and then all of a sudden something happens and you do this thing, and then the dominoes fall and you're like, what the hell just happened? That's what Monarch programming is. So we were in a Monarch program situation where we were working there, and something happened, and we didn't know what was going on. But so one morning, we wake up. It's an important day. It's the day we're supposed to turn on the portal. All right, so we're excited, and we live in a duplex. We got a next door neighbor, so that's important to mention. And we wake up, and Jimmy, Joseph, Paul, Jimmy is like, man, I had this weird dream that I like crashed my car and stuff. It was so real, man. It was bizarre. And I was like, oh, that's fucked up. And we kind of, shower, shave before we go to work or whatever. And we go into the garage and there's no car there. It's gone. And the normal reaction for anybody else in this world would be to call the police and figure out what the hell happened to your car. Yeah. But we were on the kind of payroll where it didn't really matter that much. The insurance that he was on, he's like, my insurance is so good, they'll just replace the car. He's like, I just want to get to work. I want to turn on this portal. We're about to change history. Fuck the car. Which they didn't expect. They did not expect that. The handlers or whatever, I don't think expected that. So we just hit up our neighbor next door and we're like, hey, Craig, or whatever the hell his name was, can you bring us to work? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And we're like, dude, we'll give you $100. Just bring us to work. He's like, all right, I guess $100, sure. And so on the way to work, guess what we see? We see the car that was missing from the garage wrecked with our dead bodies in it.
I remember you've told me this, and it blew my mind. Yes.
And we're like, what the we all started screaming. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing at that fucking laboratory you're working at? We're like, we don't... Well, Jimmy was like, we're opening portals. We're going to open a portal. We're going to open a portal today. I was like, you motherfuckers, like, do you think it matters? They're going to kill us. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, because I was like, man, he said, I'm like, okay, I guess you're right. Like, yeah, I guess our non-disclosure, we're supposed to be dead, so I guess our non-disclosure agreement doesn't matter anymore. So then we went out to the middle of the desert, and we hid out at not in Los Alamos, somewhere else, some small town with like very small amount of stuff. I forget exactly where it was. And all of a sudden, one day, and the neighbor came with us because he was so freaked out by what happened. He didn't feel safe either. So he lived with us, and we were just like laid really low. We had so much money, we drew out all our money, and we were able to like lay low and just like order pizza and like hang out, and we just played video games. We had like an Xbox, and we would play video games. But then one day we got a pounding on the door, and we all look at each other like, what the fuck? And they were screaming like, it's the temporal authority, open up, and we're like, the temporal, what the hell? What's that?
Did you know what that was? You didn't
know?
No,
we had no idea what that was.
Okay.
We're just like, and they're like, they literally said, if you don't open your door, we're about to break it down. So you might as well open your door if you want to have a door left. So we're like, so we opened the door, and it was these guys. They had these suits on. They had these backpacks on. There were like 4 or 5 of them. And we're like, what the hell's going on? Oh, and they had bags, body bags, too. And we're like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, don't worry, like, we can't tell you, don't worry, it'll make sense in a minute. And we're like, looking at each other, and we're freaked out. So it got to the point where we're screaming. What is going on? Why are you people here? What the fuck are you doing? And one of the guys says, because Jimmy, Joseph, who was the commander of Montauk at the time, so he's the one asking this question. He's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you here? He's like, don't worry, Commander. It will all make sense when you get back to base. He's like, Commander? Like, Commander of what? What the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, don't worry. Just shut the fuck up. Calm down. It will make sense when you all get back to base. And we're just like, base? What the hell are you guys talking about? And the guy, he takes off the backpack. He pulls out this thing. It looks like a slinky, kind like a thing that you pull apart, you know, like a bike lock almost or something, you know. But he pulls it apart and he's like, ka-ching, 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 and it makes a doorway. And there's a button on it. And he turns it on, and all of a sudden this blue fucking thing turns on. And then we're like, And dude, the one of the probably most funny parts, because there's a lot of crazy, is before that happened, as he's doing that, as he's setting up the thing, one of the guys or the 5 dudes is like, whatever you do, do not look to your right. So what do? We look to our right. That's like the natural instinct. And they're unzipping the body bags, and we see it's us again. So again, we see our dead bodies, and we are screaming our fuck. They're yelling at us. Don't worry, that makes sense. And we're like, what the fuck is going? We're all screaming at each other, and in the midst of us all, they shoot our neighbor. They fucking shoot and kill our neighbor.
Oh my goodness.
Right in front of us.
Whoa.
Open this portal, corral us through it, and then once we get to the other side, these tones play, I collapse, I puke, I remember where I am, I remember what I was doing, why I was there, how I literally sent myself there and forgot all about it.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit. That's Montauk.
That's wild. Yeah,
that is what we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even know we were on missions when we were on missions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is, when you told me that when we were in Montauk, it really blew my mind. But your story is the exact same today as it was in Montauk, by the way. Okay, just in case anybody's wondering, y'all. This is real stuff that Arkheim started.
That is one of the craziest things that ever happened to me, and getting that memory back. And then I called Joseph, and he's like filling in the details. Because he's like, do you remember how I told you I had a weird dream that I crashed my car? I'm like, yeah, I remember that. And like, we're like we both remembered it. Both of us. That's even crazier than just me remembering it. We both remembered it. And it was like, that is still to this day probably, I mean, I've got some crazy memory backs, like fighting a battle with like a million me's and stuff. That's still one of the crazy, because just the comedy of it all. Like, don't look to your right. And then we do, and then we're all screaming at each other, like, it's kind of funny. Like, at the time, it was obviously terrifying, and they killed a dude, because he saw too much. They had to do that. And then
they couldn't just mind wipe him. They couldn't take out the little
and then, because he could have gotten memories back later or whatever. And they made it look like we killed them, and then killed ourselves, too, to make it even better. Gosh. Yeah, that's what they made it look like. The car.
Yeah. That's horrible. That is really terrible. But this, okay, no matter what I've learned on top of everything is this world is way crazier than I could ever have imagined. Like, this world is not what we've been taught. Okay. And there are timelines and time travel, and these programs are very real programs. And we actually have some people in the chat tonight that actually have probably been part of these programs as well, especially, at Montauk, of course. And so I wanted to kind of, before we get into the data for this target tonight, I really wanted to kind of talk a little bit about consciousness transfer. Okay, because this technology is confusing to people who've never heard about this before. And I guess I can pull up my screen right here. Arkheim, would you like to explain it a little bit, or should I just pull up the website that I have? What do you prefer?
I'm interested in the website if you want to pull it up.
Let's see. I think it's just, hold on. Let's see what we got here. It's probably just an AI explanation of this, but it's called mind uploading. Okay. And they say that it is a speculative process. Well, here, let's just do this. Consciousness transfer technology. Right here. This is on DuckDuckGo, you guys. It says, often referred to as mind uploading, involves scanning a person's brain to create a digital replica of their mental state, which can then be simulated on a computer. This process is still theoretical and would require advanced brain-computer interfaces and significant breakthroughs in neuroscience and computing to become reality. That's on Wikipedia. And of course, we have mind uploading here. It says it's a speculative process, of course, because our technology is not 100 years ahead of what we know right now, I'm sure. But it says where a brain scan is used to completely emulate the mental state of the individual in a digital computer. The computer would then run a simulation of the brain's information processing such that it would respond in essentially the same way as the original brain and experience having sentient conscious mind. Substantial mainstream research in related areas is being conducted in neuroscience and computer science, including animal brain mapping and simulation, development of faster supercomputers, virtual reality, brain-computer interfaces, connectomics, and information extraction from dynamically functioning brains. Now, Arkeem, you and I both know that they've had this technology, right? This is old news, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Old news.
Yeah, and like that's the data that I was getting from that, and what I was seeing is, and I think that he actually did finally die, the son.
Mm-hmm.
But I was seeing that he had, he was in a wheelchair. He had his mind hooked up to the computer, and he was wearing a diaper and stuff. And every 3 days, this dude would come, and he wore a suit. He looked like a Men in Black kind of guy, and he would unplug him, and the guy always seemed kind of upset every time, but he had to do it. And he would kind of bathe him in the bath in the apartment and clean him up, and then put him back in there and hook his brain up again, like every 3 days or so. So,
wow.
Yeah, like where the hell would I remote viewed it? How would I come up with this shit? I mean, maybe, but I just I just don't understand that, how I would come up with all that. And yeah, dude, it doesn't make sense to have a giant apartment building just empty. You could be making money off that. You could be, and it just dawned on me finally. No, something weird's going on. Something really weird is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, something very strange is going on next door to you, or in the neighborhood. The whole part about this gentleman, you said that he's passed away, right?
The son.
The son.
I don't know.
Okay.
But the elderly couple still shows up, and occasionally, and I don't know what they're doing. But they very much so, like I said, give me Witch and Warlock, Aleister Crowley vibes. And I think that's, like I said, how they got in this circle. Because the weird thing about this is, I understand from Montauk, this esoteric technology
mm-hmm.
and warlocks, witches, Satanism, that stuff, they intersect. Alright? And that's why I think that's part of the reason why I think that this old couple of Kermit, I really despise them. I always have. I think that they are involved in dark magic, and also the attack that we had today, I think, was from them. And it was so creepy. Right before I rolled up it's creepy.
Okay, well, should we talk about that just a little bit? You want to talk about these attacks? Because I was trying to ignore it, right? I just thought maybe I was really tired today. And I've had a lot of really just gross energy kind of pointed my way lately. And so, I know how to protect myself energetically. You do too. We both do.
Mm-hmm.
But the energetics have been really, really wonky. Lately. And today there was a time where I got really tired, and I'll just explain what happened to me, right? And I didn't think anything about it until you told me what had been going on with you. And I just, there was something off to where I didn't think I was going to make it to the show tonight. It was weird. I've never had that before.
So what happened to me, and I can explain it to people too, is so I've been building a guitar pedal board. I play music, and it's been a journey of building the right pedal board with the right pedals, and I got it all hooked up today. Finally, and I really was satisfied with the way it sounded. And I told Kat, I'm like, oh, I'm just so happy it sounds so good. And then I turned it on again, and there's this buzzing. I'm like, what the hell? So I had to unhook every pedal and plug it up individually and see which one buzzed. And it was this Zoom, sorry to over-explain it, but it was this pedal I had. So I talked to Bill Tyson, shout out to Bill. He's an electrical engineer, and he's been helping me out with my music stuff. He's been the Preston Nichols of the here and now. And I was freaking out over this thing. He's like, well, try plugging in another instrument to it. I'm like, you don't understand, Bill. Every other pedal works and this one doesn't. He's like, I know. Just humor me. Plug anything else into it. You got another guitar or something? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, just do it. So I did. So that turns out my guitar, my electric guitar, probably the most important part of the setup, is broken as fuck. And I looked up how to fix it. It's like super expensive. It's really hard to do on your own. So man, I was just defeated. I felt like I got kicked in the nuts, spit in the face, and beat up by 5 people, but like emotionally. That's what it felt like. And it was so bad that like I swear to God, it almost knocked me off my horse to the point where like doing the show like was kind of difficult. But that was like the beginning of like the attack. And there was more stuff. It wasn't just that. But yeah, like that is weird. I'm talking, I've been building this pedal board for months, and then I finally get it turned on, and I'm finally happy. And longer than months, actually. Years, technically. And I finally get it turned on, and it sounds good, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the grounding on my... And I looked it up, like, because I know what it is. The ground went out. But normally when that happens, it's people, like, they played in a punk rock band, they went nuts, and they knocked it out. Yeah. I wasn't doing any of that. It literally feels like black magic. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like a black magic thing. Like, it's just too weird. Like, I'm talking, I've been months of climbing the mountain. You reach the top of the mountain, you're like, yes, tone. It sounds so good. Let's record all day long. Let's finish these songs. And then it's just, you turn it on, and again, it's just screeching. It feels like targeting. It feels like more than just coincidence.
Yeah. Yes. Well, and that's when we talked on the phone today, I was like, okay, well, this is really rough because you're getting targeted today. I just had an incident where I've been targeted today as well, almost like something was making us not do our show today, right? And we came this close to not doing the show tonight, this close. And I told you, Arkheim, I said, well, you know what that means, right? We need to do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then even like you said, you got hit with this like energy beam that made you tired. Like,
yes,
that happened to me. That happened to me too.
Yeah.
And like it's just there's something weird going on with this apartment building. And the reason why I want to do this show because I want to let these people know, like, what you're doing is way too fucking obvious. People are not that stupid. Like, people realize something's going on. And no, I'm not just a crazy guy. Like, people listen to me. Like, be better. Like, hide your shit better. Do it all underground or something. Like, I don't know. Like, and I know that I'm involved in this somehow because, like, when I visualized or when I did my remote viewing, I saw that there was a guy sitting on the ground in a jumpsuit. He was in that. I was trying to figure out where he's from because he was bald and stuff. And then I saw the jumpsuit, and it's the Sound of Silence timeline. Like, the timeline we definitely don't want to end up in. Well, that alternate timeline that I'm not going to claim as our future, I'm just going to call it an alternate timeline, they're sending that guy here to watch me and figure out what's going on and give back information and stuff like that. And they've been doing that with different people, I guess, like that. Mm-hmm. But I actually saw him on the ground, like hiding. Because people have been, like I said, that my neighbor, how he like looked in the window and stuff. Because people are weirded out. Like, why is there a light turning on? And I'm not the only one who noticed this. So he was, like, on the ground hiding. I saw that. Like, he was purposely, like, if you looked in there, you wouldn't be able to see him. Like, so, like, I thought that was kind of crazy. Because I literally saw him. He was, like, on the ground, like, crouched over, like, hiding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Arkheim, I get people, and I haven't had it in a while. I'm sure I do, but I haven't noticed it. But when I do remote viewing, we were learning remote viewing, we had people that were going and spying on us. We could see them in the room with us, which was really odd. It was almost like holographic or something. And to most people, it would look like maybe a ghost was there or something, but we knew that there were people dropping in and watching us. It was wild. When
was that happening?
Well, I mean, I've been learning remote viewing for the past over 10 years. So off and on. So at some point when we were just doing some...
So people are remote viewing.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into some of the data of this target
Absolutely.
now?
I do. Well, I wanted to address a couple of these comments in the chat because these are freaking amazing. And thank you, Colleen. She says, Apple phone scans the eyes to see when dilation occurs. AirPods scan brain to measure frequency. Hold on. Let me click this real quick. Apple programs the person to their addictions and makes more money. That's wild. Really, that, and plus we've talked about like the dream advertisements as well, like McDonald's putting advertisements in our dream state. And, and that's what they say, like, I don't know if it's through our phones, because a lot of us do sleep with the phone near our head, right? Not everybody. but some people do, and it's just we got so much technology, so much Wi-Fi in our homes and stuff. We need to start paying more attention, including myself. Okay, um, I don't know, maybe
But
putting our phones
before we
away at
even go
night.
on into this data, though, I really want to ask people, and I'm trying to be a little bit anonymous about the information and stuff, but is it normal to have a three? It's really like a triplex, like a duplex, but there's three of them, and just leave it empty. Is that normal? No one's living in it. Is that not weird? That's weird, right?
Well, it depends on the economy, and it depends on who owns it.
The economy is really bad right now, so that makes it even weirder.
Yes. I don't know. I guess it just depends on the neighborhood, the economy, and the people that own it. And I don't know. Who knows? I mean, or
I think it's weird.
They could just say there's something wrong with it where people can't live in it. Like some kind of code violation or something.
Like I said, my landlord offered to buy the building, and they're like, no, our son, which lines up with the data I got.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so the actual target is this empty building. Okay, the target is the empty building. I want to make that very clear to the audience tonight. What you gave me was the empty apartment building.
Mm-hmm.
The apartment building. Okay, and so let's get into some of this data. I have 4 pages of data. This is a good bit of data, actually, for this. So let me take some of these comments down while we do this. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into some of the sensory data. And you guys can find this on my Patreon. If you guys are members of my Patreon, shout out to all my members. Thank y'all so much for your support. Okay. Some of my sensory data for the empty building where all this is going on. And we are, listen, and we're kind of looking for some things that you mentioned. This is a blind target, by the way. They all are. But you mentioned the witchcraft. Rituals potentially, or some kind of witchcraft, Aleister Crowley. You mentioned the Crowley witches. You've mentioned computer systems and like a consciousness transfer digital programming system there or something. I don't know the technical term for it, y'all. Sorry, but some kind of technology where people can transfer their consciousness into computers. A conduit. That's
but I think that here's the thing though, to get clear on that and the terminology and all that to help. I think we live in a computer. So I think it's actually a portal that can send your consciousness to another body, another version of yourself, or just another reality. I don't know exactly how it works. But I saw, like I said, the person getting, turning into like light and getting sucked into it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, interesting. All right, well, let's get into this data then. Okay, so some of my sensory data was pushed. Okay, I'm going to hit your mute button so we don't have an echo here just for a second. Okay, so some of the data, y'all, okay, is pushed, entrapped, escaped, invested, read, smooth, silky, okay, towed, like TOWED, taken, visiting, and fueling. Okay, so far, does anything ring a bell, Arkheim?
Taken?
I
felt like whatever's over there was like connected to me and the programs and me getting taken. And something that I really want to be clear. Did you hear that?
What?
I just heard something, like a whisper. I'm wearing headphones. It sounded like, oh really? It sounded like someone saying, oh really? Did anybody else hear that? Anybody else using headphones?
I might have said, oh really?
Oh yeah, that was weird.
It was probably me. We'll go back and rewind it. It's going to be me, probably.
Okay, well anyway.
I like to whisper occasionally.
where
okay, some of the sensory data included.
Okay, so I got taken a few times recently, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened to me, and maybe I'll have to have you see those targets sometime. But I have a feeling it has something to do with that house. I don't know, but I remember. So the first memory I got back was, because it was the more recent thing probably, was like these aliens healed me. And they were like these tall, gray, they're beautiful looking though, and they felt more human and like not stale. They felt very like loving and didn't feel like a stale, like empty gray. Not to be mean to grays and call them stale and empty or something like that, but they had emotion behind it. They didn't feel so logical. They felt more human. And they were like healing me, and they told me some stuff. They're like, so I actually took a picture of it and put it on my YouTube. They told me all this stuff, and they after they told it to me, they put their fingers on me, and I remember feeling it, and it felt like being shocked and being burnt at the same time almost. And they actually left a handprint on my leg, and that's what made me remember it. And what they told me was, and people are gonna laugh at this maybe, but this is what they told me. They told me that they balanced my chakras and my limbic system, which I didn't even know what that was. I had to Google it. That's your behavior center of your brain.
Yeah.
That's what regulates your emotions and stuff. They said they balanced that and my chakras and all this stuff, and that they're gonna put me back. And they told me that in order to have what they did work more, they told me to not eat meat if I can, and to avoid red meat, because they said it'll make me aggressive, which I thought was kind of weird. And I was like, all right. And that's what I remembered at first. And what's crazy is like, for 2 days I didn't feel like eating meat, which is weird for me. And I went veg for like 2 days. And then me and Kat went out and I got a burger. And what's weird is normally I would just have a burger and it would just be good and that's the end of the day. But it made me sick, dude. Having a burger made me sick, which was really weird. And it made me think of what they said. And it's literally red meat. And they said don't eat red meat. So I was like, that's kind of wild. And I posted about it at first like in this groovy way where I'm like, there's good beings out there that help you. And man, I'm sorry to always be the negative Nancy, but turns out they're just contracted. Kind of like in the way you would a mercenary, but for medics. For people who are broken. And basically, one of my alters explained to me that because they recalibrated me, right? It's literally the exact word that they used. And so I posted about how they recalibrated me. Well, what do you do to a pistol after a battle? After you're in a battle and you're sitting around at camp and you got some time on your hands? You take it, you recalibrate it. You take it apart, you put it back together, you make sure it runs smoothly.
Yeah, you gotta clean it.
Yeah, so but recalibrating it, recalibrate the pistol, make sure that it's as good as new. Because after a battle, it might get misaligned. You know, you put it back together, good as new. So recalibrate it. And my alter basically told me that they recalibrated you like you would a rifle or something like that. They're not. It's not because they love you or whatever. And so I got more memories back, and I don't remember what it was, but I do remember I went through a portal and I was in this reality, and I was on this planet, and I was kind of like tropical looking, and everything was in like this blue haze, like everything looked like it was in like this blue haze. Which Alondra Markman has talked about that. When you go to alternate realities, it'll kind of look like it's in like you're looking at it through a filter or something. That's literally what it was like. And I don't remember why I was there, but I remember like they were living real organic, real simple, and it shouldn't have been there.
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been there. But I don't really remember what that was. But what I do remember though is I woke up. And I was strapped into a chair, and I had this thing hooked up to my brain, and this was literally 5 or 6 days ago, less than a week ago, and Nicholas was there, Preston Nichols.
Oh gosh, from Montauk.
Yeah. And people always say, isn't he dead? Time travel.
Yeah.
I could see myself as a child, you know, like whatever. None of it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
But it was him, and I wake up and I become aware of where I am, and I'm freaked out. I see that face. Oh, I'm fucking freaked out, dude. That man's terrorized me. I was like, calm down, bird brains. I'm just getting information from you, and we're putting you back. And I was like, what the fuck? And he was looking at my brain, like CAT scans of my brain, and he was telling me about how social media made me stupid, and he was calling me bird brain. Kept on calling me bird brain and talking about how I didn't have an attention span and how like I can't finish my songs and stuff, and like he was like mocking me. And real fucking annoying. Being stuck in this chair, having this guy tell me about how, stupid I am or whatever, and then he's like, "Oh, and now we're gonna send you to get recalibrated, and they're gonna put you back." And that's how I figured out that those aliens, because me remembering him say that phrase, he literally said, "Now we're gonna get you sent to get what? Now you're gonna get sent to get recalibrated, and then they're gonna put you back." That's what he said. So that made me realize those aliens that recalibrated me, that was the exact term that they used, was actually because I got sent into battle and I got fucked up by it. Like, whatever happened to me when I was on that other side of that portal messed up my emotions and my behavior and my aura and everything about me and destroyed me.
Okay, well, for people who are not familiar with some of these programs, what you're talking about right now, you could be even referring to like Project Pegasus. I know you're talking about Preston Nichols, but Andrew Basiago has put out a lot of testimony and speaks on this. I don't know if he's still doing the circuits and talking about it all the time, but he was part of Project Pegasus, okay, and where they were sending children into different timelines and to go communicate with our former president centuries ago, y'all. Okay?
Yeah.
And so if they could go send children back in time, I mean, there's time travel possible.
So the first documented instance of the fact that there is an alternate reality was Andrew Basiago, who rightfully claims it in some interviews, and he talks about the time that he went through the time portal as he usually did, but when he tried to go to his house, sorry that you remember him, that's a real bummer. When he tried to go back to his house, somebody else was living there, and he figured out he was in an alternate reality, and he basically was honest with them, and they're like, believed him, and they contacted the government, and then these basically like military people showed up and sent him back to the reality that it came from, which proves that our realities communicate with each other. What nobody's ever talked about, which isn't public knowledge other than me talking about it, I'm pretty sure the first person ever talked about it, is the reason why all these alternate realities communicate and know about each other is when an AI becomes powerful enough, some of them, not all of them, but some of them will literally eat the entire reality. They will eat the reality like a sandwich and then move on to the next reality because we are in a computer.
Wow.
So.
Okay. Well, okay, you know what? I was just thinking, we probably, I saw that, Andrew. Yes, my email is full. You got to go to the cryptidhuntress@gmail.com. Okay, Andrew, I've seen your comment. My other emails are packed. You won't get through to me. Okay, well, let's just go here. I'm going to mute you for a second there. Okay, so I'm going to get into the rest of the data with the analytic overlay right quick. Okay, and I'm going to go down this list, and maybe I'll just go down the list, and I'll ask you what you think about it. Okay, is that okay, Arkheim? Okay, let's go down the whole list, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so some of the first, this is analytic overlay. This is like from the sensory data. This is me making sense of my sensory data. And a lot of times this analytic overlay does pertain to the target. So the first thing I wrote down was out of body. And now remember, the target is the empty apartment. Okay, so out of body, digitized, pixelated, hologram, Tron movie. I felt like I was in the Tron movie. Okay, like with grid patterns and things like that. Minutes, I wrote down minutes turned to hours, which could have something to do with like time travel or something, right? Backup plan. I wrote Red Rover. I heard Red Rover. And then I wrote down Milky Way, ripped apart, ripped away, runway, landing, launch pad, visitors, and run at the very end. And then for my sketch, I drew what looks like a house and a building beside it. So it's like a house and an apartment building, maybe is what I was seeing.
Yeah, that's literally what it's like. That's literally my building and then their building next to each other.
Okay, well, and so I drew it. This is a blind target, y'all. I love this. I love remote viewing. What do you think about any of that, Arkheim? Because I was really picking up on like digitized holograms and like the movie Tron.
Can I show you something?
Yes.
Here, allow. This window. You see this stuff?
Yes, let me pull it up for you.
So there's this band Magdalena Bay, and I have this single called Image, and you can see the the symbols, and that looks like the mind flare from
Wait, Arkheim, is it supposed to look like that? What are you showing us? I mean, it's not pulling up, I don't think.
Oh wait, what are you saying?
It says you are sharing your entire screen.
Okay, just a
but
second.
There's nothing there. Okay.
Let me try this again. Wow, that's really weird. Share screen, share screen, allow, and share entire screen. And now can you see it?
Yes, I'm pulling it up.
Okay, so basically, you can see the checkerboard. You can see it. It's going to go into her brain. You can see her in the chair. And what this song is talking about is uploading your consciousness into a computer. She's friends with Grimes, and Grimes actually produced the song with her image. And it's all about uploading your consciousness to the computer. The lyrics are, it's like 22 whole minutes talking about uploading your consciousness to a computer. And, it shows all this, like I said, imagery of it and stuff like that. And to me, what this shows is this technology already exists, and that there's already people using this technology, and these people know about it. Grimes knows about it, and like you can see the clocks and all the weird stuff in this image, the music video, and so I highly recommend people check out that song. But Imaginal Disc is so here's the cover of the album. So it's basically turning your consciousness into a digital form, and that's what the whole album's about. And essentially, I think that this technology has existed on Earth since the 1980s, and I think that these old people had a son who, like I said, was disabled, and they didn't want him to live such a. They want him to. These are wealthy people that come. They believe that their family should live in good lives and affluence and stuff. So they put him into a computer, and they can visit him in the computer, and that's what I think. That's kind of what I think happened.
Mm-hmm. Hey, nothing is out of the question, that's for sure. And so that would make sense. I mean, even with like the Tron stuff, like living in a simulation, right? And that was in my data. That's in my data. Okay, so I don't know. Let's go to the next page. Okay, so on the next page. Hey, Don, he says Tron light cycles. Okay, let's see. The next thing I wrote down was display. Some of my sensory data was replaced, injured. I was picking up on a square in a box. Usually when I pick up on a square in a box, when you and I'm doing a target for you, it's usually like a portal or something. But I wrote down engine, high impact, bombastic. And I drew what looks like kind of like an explosion. And I wrote down enclosed and explosive, hot. And then I heard a voice say, "Don't move, hands up. Don't move, hands up." I wrote down fire, blast, and circles. Okay. Does any of that make any sense for this target at all?
Some of it.
Okay. Let's go to the next page, because I don't know, that may not pertain to a whole lot of this target here. But
well, we got to keep in mind that this is a kind of esoteric target that we don't understand a lot about. So if we understood the target perfectly and knew exactly what we're looking at, exactly what we're talking about, some of that data might make more sense. But because we don't have maybe some of the context, it's not necessarily that you're off the mark. It's more like we might not, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, but let's continue. Let's look into it more and see what else you saw.
Let's do it, because the next thing I wrote down, so I was picking up on something like explosive and hot, and on the next page, my analytic overlay was Burning Man, like a burning man. I wrote down back alley, doorstep. So a back alley and a doorstep, Alpha Bravo. I heard a voice say Alpha Bravo, so like AB maybe, or Alpha Bravo. And then I picked up on militaristic organization.
Yeah.
And then I wrote down for my analytic overlay, that was like my aesthetics. And so I wrote down secret organization.
I just remembered something.
Okay.
Cat found a key in our apartment, and it didn't make any sense, and it didn't belong to anything. I don't know what happened to that key, but what if it was the key to that apartment building, and what if I was using that key to go into the apartment building and do missions? And that's why it says military, is I was using their conduit and their portal, because I don't know, maybe the phone works, or I don't know, but I have a feeling that I've gone in there. And I'm not talking from my own conscious free will, I'm talking like programmed, like, because like that's what I thought of when I thought of the weapons thing, is like, they probably got me programmed to just burp and then just walk over there or whatever. That's kind of the first thing that I saw, and that's what sent me down this rabbit hole to begin with. And
oh my God, I forgot about that key, Arkheim.
Was there a key in the data?
No, not that I know of. I've got a couple. I got another page or two. No, I don't have a key in here, but I did write down. So militaristic organization, secret organization, and then I wrote tapped in. I was hearing tapping, and so I wrote down tapped in, initiated, Aleister Crowley, clients and clientele.
Yeah.
And I wrote down, and I wrote as a tangible, I had books. So I've seen books, like maybe like ritualistic books, but initiated Aleister Crowley, clients and clientele.
What is done in the darkness shall forever be brought into the light. You cannot hide from the truth. Only cockroaches live in the darkness. Only cockroaches and cowards hide in the darkness. These people are fucking idiots for thinking that they can just get away with this shit right in front of fucking Arkheim Ra, right underneath my nose. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I wouldn't just figure this shit out. Like, I wouldn't just figure out that something weird's going on. Like, that's real rich. That's real rich to me. Oh, I'll just move to another town because I'm perfectly aware that I'm being mind controlled and everything's weird, and I'll just magically not look anywhere for any signs of anything weird happening to me and just think it's all over with. Is that what they assumed? I mean, it's just it's comical. It's comical to me how obvious it is. Like, they couldn't have done it in a house that's maybe a little more down the street, or like, so I'd at least have to like walk a block to get there. Like, seriously? They did it this blatantly out in the open.
Very close.
Like,
yeah.
Good job, guys. Good. I know you watched this. Good fucking job. Real geniuses. Real fucking geniuses you guys are.
Oh my gosh. William, I'm going to get back to this in just a minute. I'm going to get through the data and we'll come back to your question. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going to come back to William's question in just a second. Okay, so definitely picked up on, here, I'm going to mute you for a second so we don't have an echo. So we definitely picked up on initiated Aleister Crowley, clients, and clientele. And the next thing that I wrote down, this is kind of wild, Arkheim. The next thing I wrote down was cartel.
Yo, I actually saw a dude who looked like he could be cartel pull up in a pimped out ass vehicle, go back there. I figured he was picking up cocaine or dropping off cocaine or something and leaving.
Hey, remember, let's be careful about what we say because it's in your neighborhood. Okay, so.
Well, this is all hypothetical.
Somewhere it's hypothetical. This is for entertainment purposes only.
I talked to my neighbors about it. I'm like, why would a guy? Because this is what I saw. I don't know what it was. I saw a guy pull up in a nice ass vehicle. There's music pounding. He goes back behind that apartment. He's there for like a minute, 2 minutes. Then he gets back in his vehicle and pulls away. And I've seen this twice in the whole time I've lived here. That's weird. And at first I just thought, oh well, because you know if there's an empty building in a lot of times it's not secret space program stuff. It's just like a guy who's a drug dealer, and oh, this is a perfect place for people to pick up or me to drop off. And that's kind of what I thought it was, but I don't think that is what it was. And I think when you're saying cartel, like these people are connected to this stuff. The cartel is connected to this stuff, I think. And and I think they know about it maybe. And dude, it's traffic. It's like I said, it's not just a high tech Conduit sci-fi thing. I told you before we did the show that it feels black market. It feels illicit. It feels like something that's illegal. That's what it feels like to me.
There's something going on there. There's a little something. If we're picking up on that, so. There may be several things going on there, but let me go ahead with the rest of this data because this is interesting. So after I wrote down cartel, I wrote down cold as ice, straight faced, thievery, stealing, and then I wrote down it's go time. I heard a voice say it's go time. I wrote on a mission, thief. I wrote destiny, Raiders of the Lost Ark was part of my analytic overlay. Raiders of the Lost Ark, government. I wrote ICE, ICE, ICE. Cold. Okay, so part of my century data is cold and blanked out, and then I wrote down mind wipe, and then I ended the session as soon as I picked up on mind wipe. I ended the session.
Forgive me because of the times we're in. Are you talking about cold ice that you put in the freezer, or the group, the milk, like the?
It could be either. Well, it was right after I heard the word government, and then I wrote ice. But I also was picking up on cold, so it could go either way. I was picking up on cold.
Whoa! Yeah. I just saw some. Whoa!
Okay. What'd you see?
Entertainment purposes only.
It's for entertainment purposes only, y'all.
I saw people getting taken into rooms, people yelling and screaming, and people having like they're like on drugs, and they're strapped into these computers. And think about it. What are they building right now? They're building data centers everywhere. Data centers that are sucking up power grids, and we got to start looking towards where these AI centers are and where these detention centers are, and we got to start seeing how far away they are from each other, and if they're taking them. Holy.
Look what. Okay, so M13 has a really good point right here too, man. If people have access, if you can just put some portal making devices, some of those bricks into a sanctuary.
That's another aspect of this that could totally be. Oh my God.
We might be getting in trouble. No wonder we got attacked today before the show. Maybe we should. I don't know.
That's crazy. You're right. You're right. Because it's like whatever you would have in your pockets. I don't think it's gonna fall on the floor or whatever you're holding.
Yeah.
It's gonna come with you. I'm pretty sure.
Golly.
So like.
M13 says running. D-rugs, you know what I mean?
It could be part of it. And like I said, I think it's multiple people are using it, multiple clientele that know about it. And it's being rented, which goes along with your data.
Yeah. It does. Well, isn't it crazy too? The last thing I wrote down was mind wipe. And then I ended the session because I was like, okay, I don't know if they were trying to wipe my mind or I don't know what was going on. But I just wrote down mind wipe and I was like, boop, I'm done.
I know that there was a comment that said they don't need portals with the cartel, but that's when but what if they're trafficking something that's not a well-known substance that people who go out and party might encounter? What if it's the chrome? What if that's how illicit it is? I feel like they're going to be a lot more secretive about it, because if you got caught with that, it would blow the lid on so much. I'm being hypothetical though, because they might be right. Like even if they're it might not have anything to do with drug trafficking. We're just asking questions for entertainment purposes only.
Thank you. Yes, Chiro Sound says for entertainment purposes only. Thank you, Jane. This whole show, like we've said it throughout the show, is for entertainment purposes only. We're just talking crazy tonight, y'all. That's all.
We ask the deep questions, and we might not even have the answers, but we gotta ask.
Well, we got to add. It's just, this stuff is just data. It's just data. It does not mean anything, honestly. But I swear I get myself in more trouble doing these remote viewing targets than anything else in this world. I really do. Who would have thunk it?
It is. I mean, I guess that is. At least you know what you're getting yourself into with me. You pretty much know that it's probably going to be something sketchy and weird, like almost every time.
Yeah. It's pretty much something sketchy every time. Hey, the robot grandma was one of my very favorite targets. So I appreciate that. But yeah, everything is sketchy. But you know what? That's what we're here for. And if I didn't want to, first of all, help you out, because you're my friend, okay? But to get to the bottom of a lot of this stuff, and if I can back up some of your testimony through blind targets, not knowing what I'm getting, okay? Like I said, I mean, it could be like a target, like a robot grandma that has nothing to do with you, right? Or it could be like targets that have to do with some of your memories. Or it could be an empty building down the street,
Yeah.
And I just think it's interesting how the data does correlate a lot of what your
Because
testimony.
we did not talk about it prior at all.
Absolutely not. You gave me some numbers, and you're like, "Hey, when are you available for a show?" And you're like, "Here's some numbers. Just let me know the next time you got an opening." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And,
I just think it's just like a real genius setup that they have. Just have a giant empty building in the middle. No one's gonna notice that. No one's gonna notice how weird that is and figure it out.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just crazy. Like, I'm like somewhere down the line. Let's just say I move across town or whatever. Like I kind of want to. Somebody else, I'm not like several people have realized this building's weird. These old people are weird, huh? And the difference between me and them is that they move on with their lives. But I actually am like, no, seriously, what's going on? That is weird. Let's have Jessica Jones remote view it.
Let's do it, remote view it.
Like,
Yeah.
That's the difference between me and the other neighbors that I've also noticed the weirdness. And I feel I'm directly involved too, like I said. I feel like I did not end up in this building with all this weirdness going on as a coincidence, as nothing in my life is a coincidence, is what it seems like more and more.
Mm-hmm. Nothing is a coincidence. You were correct. Hello, Nathan. He says Penny Bradley recalled supercomputers made from human brain tissue on ships.
Yeah, that's just normal.
Is that normal?
Starships, yeah, the good ones, so you can go through portals and stuff, have that. Because if they didn't, you have to be able to make the ship itself navigate through time space, and you have to be aware of the ship, and with your mind. So yeah, it has to be alive. The ship literally has to be alive in order for you to make it pass through a portal. So that's how they do it. And the pilot has their DNA. So like the brain tissue of the ship and your brain tissue would have a DNA match. The pilot and the...
Oh, that's right. Okay, so that's... and we're talking about consciousness transfer too, right? Like, so we were talking about the mind transfers and stuff. Like, we talked about that.
Well, if you're piloting a ship, you're just hooked up to the ship, and your consciousness is one with it. It's not...
Okay.
Necessarily...
It's not transferred?
I guess
it's just one.
Sure, transfer is kind of, because you're not really controlling your body at that point. You're controlling the ship. So I guess that actually, now that I think of it, that actually is probably a good term.
So there'd be like a human person in the ship,
mm-hmm.
and they're hooked up to like a cap, like a
basically kind of the trip chair
headset.
The trip chair.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing. Depending on what ship you're on, they might have a headset, but it's not really necessary.
Oh, okay. It's I always this is something that I've always tried to wrap my head around, so to speak. Is like how did motherships become motherships with a consciousness of a person? Is it downloaded into a computer? Like consciousness like that. I mean, we talk about cloning and all that. I mean, it's kind of like falls in line with like how do you transfer consciousness into a clone? It was like like what we were talking about, like downloading into computers, like what you suspect is in this empty apartment, or was at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Colleen says AI takes a lot of energy, bad for the environment. They projecting that data centers will cover the world.
You know what's going to be really funny? I'm just going to say it. About 6 or 7 years from now, when everybody's complaining about how much energy these AI centers take, they'll just magically discover 0-point energy out of nowhere to make everybody not complain about it. Watch. Fucking watch. Yeah. And remember that I said that, and don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait.
Dude, they got 0-point energy in the dumps. It's illegal up here. It's illegal. They will come and take it. Like, it's literally illegal. And you've seen it. You've seen it. Everybody knows about the people who make, like, the water cars and the free energy stuff that get assassinated and stuff. Everybody knows about that. That's common knowledge now.
So it's all good down in underground, but it's not okay here.
It's because it's all controlled by the military underground, so it's not all good. It's being the people who are using the 0-point energy are doing nasty stuff with it.
Oh my gosh. So there's a whole other set of rules down beneath our feet than there is up here.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do believe that conduit that's in that apartment could theoretically transfer someone's consciousness from a body to the cloning facilities, and I think it might be used for that purpose.
Well, I've actually
Not entirely, but that would just be one of the purposes that you could use this conduit for, this consciousness conduit.
Yeah. Well, I think honestly, Arkheim, having a center right there, I mean, having some kind of a place that is, what did my data say? Visitors, hold on. Having clientele at this empty apartment place. I don't know. I talk about places being hidden in plain sight.
That's what it
Hidden in
is.
plain sight. That's exactly what this is. It's just a place that's hidden in plain sight. It's not deep underground. You don't have to go. I mean, this is just a place where anybody could go. I mean, obviously, you've gotten suspicious of it, okay? But you would know what to look for when other people don't. A lot of people don't pay attention. Yeah, I think there's way more places, like even cloning facilities and all that. I mean, this could be considered, like, I don't want to say a cloning facility, but a consciousness cloning facility, right? Could be.
Could be.
On a small scale.
It could be. That could be what it is. It could be uploading your consciousness, and then, I don't know though. I don't have enough information. I'm kind of guessing more than anything. I wish I could remember more.
Okay, well, I do have Aleister Crowley in here. You did mention the Crowley witches. What do you mean by Crowley witches? Like people who practice black magic or practice like rituals like Aleister Crowley did?
They call it there's a word for it. Thelema magic or something. Yeah, Thelema. Yeah, and Aleister Crowley is the one who practices it. And Portland attracts these types, and this area, I think, and Jack Parsons and all these different people were in it, who are connected to the NASA and the space programs, and I basically think that these old people are practicing Thelema, witch and warlock, and Crowley followers is what I think. In that, like I said, this weird esoteric technology in that world like cross a lot, but they're kind of the same.
Well, we have high-level military officials are straight up Satanists and stuff, right? So
Yeah,
it's in our military.
like
It's every facet of even government.
Like Aquino's dead now, but he was a high-ranking Satanist, and he was in the military, and he was very open about it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. William Nighthawk says, I'm going to have a stiff drink of moonshine after this. Oh my gosh. Have a sip for me, Nighthawk. He did have a question for you, actually. I was going to ask you this real quick before we go on. We have several questions in here. But William is asking, Arkheim, can you give more of a physical details of the location? Like you're telling us what you've been through. William, I guess you're talking about like the building, maybe? I'm not sure.
I don't want to give too many details about it because I don't want people showing up to my neighborhood and like looking for it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, maybe that was a bad question. Sorry, I'm just kidding. William, thank you for your question. I appreciate that. But out of like respect of like the privacy of Arkheim and his fiance and stuff, we're not going to give too many details about that.
Sorry. I wish I could answer the question.
Yeah. And we do
maybe after I move out or something and I move across town.
We'll cover this again. Yeah, we'll have to do an update down the road whenever you guys aren't living.
Even then, I'm not sure on the legality of that, though. To be honest with you, I'll have to look into it. But
oh yeah, oh my gosh. Well, we've done a pretty good job of keeping it like.
What's 3i Atlas? What is that?
3i Atlas. I've covered this on like 3 shows already now. There's actually, this is something that I had remote viewed, and they say it's a comet. That's the official narrative on it, is that it's a comet, but it's the size of Manhattan, downtown New York. It's like 7 miles long or more. I don't know. It's huge.
I don't know what it is.
They say it's a comet, but I think it's a craft.
The
first thing I wrote down was Solar Warden or something like that, or no, Dark Fleet. It was Dark Fleet. It was in my data. So I think that's part of the secret space program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Nachtwaffen is another word for that.
Not Waffen. Yeah. I don't know. It looks. What they were originally saying, Archeem, was that it was like a hostile alien spacecraft headed towards Earth, and it was going to be here the first week of November. And so we were all speculating that might be the beginning of the fake alien invasion.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
We'll
I have
see
no
it.
idea
We'll
either.
find out real fast, I guess. It's not that far away.
Well, they say it may be in the next couple of weeks, actually. It might be. So.
I've lived through a lot of false predictions in my life, so I don't get very excited about anything anymore. But
I know, right?
we'll see what
It's
happens.
Like, bring the aliens in already. Come on. Like, I mean, the aliens are already here, right? I mean, this world, it's like we're sitting around waiting for like an alien invasion, even probably a fake one or whatever. But we've got so much. It's just like we're always looking out when we've got all this weird stuff happening right here in our faces, right in our lives. Okay, and so I don't know. I do appreciate it. You giving me these targets. So I mean, what do you think overall tonight, Archeem? Do you think that the data? I think the data lines up with a lot of what you were saying.
I think I think we're kind of reaching the end here, and I just want to say this is super real. I don't know how safe it was for either one of us to talk about this, to be honest with you. I feel in danger already for my life because of this building and its existence and whatever the hell is going on with it. So that's why I decided I might as well just talk about it anyway, because I already feel like in danger. And yeah, I just want to say this is super real. Something really weird is going on with this building. I'm being attacked. I'm under attack. And if people want to pray for me, I appreciate it. Because I'm super duper heavy duty under attack in a million different ways. And yeah, just pray for me because it's rough. It's rough. And I do just want peace. And I don't want to keep dealing with all this stuff anymore.
Yeah. It takes a toll on you. And today it was something was very oppressive with me as well today. And they do say like, if you got information, it's better just to get it out there to the public. It is. And I'm always here for you, Archeem. Okay, I'm always here for you.
Yeah, this is affecting me. I'm still not in the best emotional state. I'm still not doing that great. I think people can probably tell by watching. I'm like disassociating a lot. So I think I do probably gotta get maybe going soon here though. But I really appreciate you having me on the show. And
of course.
We were this close to like not doing it.
We were. I've never been that close to not doing a show. I actually had Barry we were kind of coming up. We were brainstorming, just trying to come up with maybe something where he could hop on. And I've had Barry on the show twice already this week. So shout out to Barry Littleton. He's the best, man. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a legend, and I really appreciate him filling in. And I'm sorry for putting you all in that position.
It's okay. Listen, that's how we roll. It's all good. We always have backup, and my concern is just your well-being, okay, and your safety, your health, and I think that we've got more work to do, Archeem. Okay, so make a list, assign some coordinates to them, and what things you want me to look.
And I just want to end this with one last thing, and this is for me, and this has nothing to do with you. This is just me, because I know these people watch this. These people watch this. What you're doing is obvious. I want to say this to you people. All right, look at me. What you're doing is obvious. You put me in a position that's way too obvious for somebody who figured out they were in a Truman Show kind of thing. Like, you need to do better if you want to keep me in these programs. And I want to tell you right now, look at me. You spooks watching this. I do not consent to being in these programs. It's time to make me aware of what the fuck I'm doing in the here and now, or stop taking me. Because I am not okay with this. I'm not okay with it anymore. I'm not okay with waking up and feeling like super duper fucked up and not being able to function, not being able to go buy groceries. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of not being able to function. So to you handlers out there watching this, you people in the programs who are using me over and over again, this version of me can only fucking handle so much. You need to stop, please. Please stop. Please stop taking me. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I do not feel safe, and I deserve that. After all the fucking work I've done for you people, I deserve at least just a tiny little bit of solace. So please leave me the fuck alone. That's what I'm ending the show with. And I'm sorry if that was too real, Jessica, but you don't have me come on the show to sugarcoat things. That's who I am. I'm real. And that was real. I'm actually tired of this. I actually did this for my own safety. And I just wanted it to be clear. I do not consent. I do not consent. I pray every night before I go to sleep to God that I'm not taken. And I pray for protection from Jesus and from God and stuff. And I'm not even a very religious person. So everybody else has their permission to do that. Because whatever it takes, man, stop taking me. I don't want to get taken anymore. Please. Well, thank you for giving this information eyes and ears so much. And that's the last thing I want to say.
You're welcome, Arkheim. Listen, we love you, and we're all, sending up prayers for you and Kat tonight. And listen, I love you. Okay, so
tired, dude. I'm literally fucking exhausted. I'm so exhausted. I just want some peace, man. I just want a little bit of peace. I'm tired of being a dragon in a fucking dragon cave, having to defend myself from outsiders, and I just want to be safe. Mm-hmm. So help me manifest that, everybody. I just want safety.
Well, we got your back, Arkheim. Okay, and take care of yourself. Okay, and I'll get in touch with you. Okay, I'll be checking in with you to make sure you're good. Okay, I'm always here for you. Okay, have a great night, Arkheim.
You too.
Okay, thank you. All right, everybody, please say a prayer for Arkheim. Okay, and let's lift him up in prayer and send him all the best energy and all the love his way. Okay, because he is a very important voice in the disclosure community, and if it, I really enjoy being able to do work with Arkheim. He's a great guy, and I've spent a lot of time in person with Arkheim and Kat too. I've been able to go to different conferences with him, and we spent over a week together up in Montauk a couple of years ago, and I love him to death. And I think it's important that people like himself, like Arkheim, get out the word, okay, and to give their testimony. And it can be very hard, okay? It can be very hard. And I know just from talking about Bigfoot, okay, coming out being a remote viewer, I got attacked and all sorts of stuff. I got my name dragged through up and down the street and the road, okay? And I know it's hard when you're a targeted individual, especially. It's not easy to do the things that Arkheim does. And so yes, we were a hair away from not doing this show tonight. And I'm really glad that we did. And I'm super glad that you guys were here with us tonight. Thank you so much for all the questions, all the comments. I'm not sure if I covered all the questions. I was trying to star some of the questions. I know there were a whole bunch of them. I know, but Linda, thank you for becoming a member of the Hunt Club tonight. And thank you, Mark. It's good to see you in here. He's protected. My light and power will keep he. Okay, that is so sweet, y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, everybody. Like I said, send some extra protection to Arkheim and Kat tonight, and always, and for anyone else who out there, use your voice, y'all. We should all be using our voices right now, especially if you've been part of these programs, reach out, if not to me, reach out to someone like Arkheim. And yeah, I think that's how we're going to start. I don't know. The disclosure is here, and the disclosure is now, and we are the disclosure. We really are. And so, yeah, so I guess we'll leave it at that tonight, y'all. This has been just a wonderful show. And I'm sending all my love and light to every one of y'all. And again, if you'd like to see the remote viewing data for this, it is on my Patreon. And I want to thank all of my Patreon members. I actually just got some more stuff in. If you're a VIP member of my Patreon, I don't have your mailing address, please send it to me. And I will send you your gifts out as soon as I get that. And yes, thank you, Jane. She says, good night. Keep your vibrations high, everybody. Yeah. Y'all keep your vibrations high. Put up a shield of protection around you, energetic protection. Say your prayers. Put on the full armor of God every day. And we are living in some crazy times right now. And like I was saying with Arkheim, it's like, we're out here looking to the skies for like this alien invasion and stuff. Well, we've got all this stuff happening right here in front of us. Okay, so stay grounded, y'all. Please stay grounded and full of love. Okay. And don't live in fear, live in awareness, as I always say. And please come back and see me. I will be back on Saturday night. What did Navigator say? Keep your pants up high. Keep your vibe high and your pants. Okay. But I'll be back on Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern on The Hunt. We're going to have another great show for you guys. And like I said, I'm sending all my love and light to you guys. I will see y'all back here on Saturday night. Okay. Thank you guys again for being here, and thank you for all the support and all your love. Bye, y'all.